All right. Good morning, everyone. Nice to be with you today. My name is Jared Benson. I am a financial professional and an avid Plexus user, and it's a pleasure to be with you. Um, I've been asked to provide a few minutes of training regarding getting your financial house in order in 2019. I can't think of a better goal than taking care of that this year, other than obviously using Plexus products to get healthier. Money problems are often a cause for many of life's troubles, stress, breakups, etc. It can all be tied back to money problems in many cases. If you have your financial house in order, you'll live a much happier life, and that's what we're going to talk about today. First, a little bit about me. I'm a graduate from the University of Hawaii in Management and International Business, and an MBA recipient from the University of Notre Dame with a focus in finance. I've been working in the finance industry for the last 10 years, working for a Fortune 100 company, while at the same time fostering a successful personal finance consulting business of my own. And I enjoy doing that because I like helping people from all walks of life get their financial house in order and help them see a clear path to their financial goals. My wife is a Plexus Gold Ambassador, and we're avid fans of the Plexus products. Besides taking the Tri-Pack, I'm also on the MetaBurn product. I'm trying to get back to the glory days of 20 pounds lighter than what I am today. Our kids take Plexus vitamins, and my mother-in-law, she takes a number of products that help her relieve pain and feel a lot younger. So let's get down to it. I appreciate this opportunity to give you some tips and tricks regarding personal finance, and I hope you can apply some of today's video in your personal life to get you that much closer to financial independence. When I think of becoming financially independent, it's a process. It takes time, and it has to be built up appropriately through steps, similar to building a house. You have to have a really strong foundation to make sure that your financial security is long-lasting. I'm going to use some regular 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper and a black marker to help guide us through this conversation. But here are, hang on, let me get back to the screen. Here are kind of the 6 steps of building a strong financial foundation that lasts through time that I consider to be fundamental. 1 on the bottom is protecting your family. 2 is knowing your habits and budgeting. 3 is debt management. 4 is an emergency fund. 5 is investing and a retirement plan. And a bonus level for those of you that are business owners, which I believe is probably almost all of you that are watching this, is being a business owner and taking advantage of the tax strategies that are available to you because you're a business owner. Now, these foundational steps, in most cases, are built one by one in succession, starting with protecting your family. What happens if you go out of order? Well, let's take a look at an example. Let's say someone is putting all of their extra money, right, their disposable funds into a 401k without having an emergency fund. What happens when an emergency strikes? Well, when an emergency strikes, that person is either going to have to use credit cards to pay for that emergency, or they're going to have to liquidate some of their retirement in order to pay for that emergency. Now, liquidating your retirement comes at a cost. It comes at a tax cost, and it comes at a penalty if you're not 59.5 or above. So those options are not optimal. It'd be much better if you built an emergency fund before putting all of the rest of your monthly disposable income into retirement. So that's why it's important to do these in order. Sometimes you can do 2 at the same time that are right next to each other, but let's look at each of these fundamental building blocks one by one. So first of all, financial protection. What is financial protection? In the financial sense, this means if people depend on you financially now or in the future, what happens to those people if you kick the bucket and you aren't around anymore? Protecting your family means to have adequate life insurance to provide for loved ones in case something happens to you prematurely. A majority of Americans either say they don't have enough life insurance or they don't have any at all. That's pretty alarming for the families that depend on these people. Life insurance these days is cheaper than it's ever been. And depending on the insurance company and policy type, it has benefits that you can use while you're still alive. And a lot of people don't know that. In the instance that you ever suffer from a critical illness, a chronic illness, or a terminal illness, you could use your life insurance while you're still alive. Imagine having $200,000 or so of tax-free money from your life insurance policy that you could use to fight cancer if you were ever diagnosed. Isn't that pretty amazing? It's not your dad's life insurance policy from yesteryear. So how much life insurance is the right amount? And what type is best for you? A common method that's used for understanding the right amount for life insurance is called DIME, D-I-M-E. And it stands for debt, income replacement, mortgage, and education. And each one of these line items has a dollar amount specific to you that you potentially would want to leave behind if something happened to you and you needed to leave some funds for your family. You can kind of think of it like this. So let's imagine a person had $50,000 of debt that would need to be paid off even after they pass away. And let's say this person had a $50,000 annual income, and they wanted to leave 10 years of income replacement to their loved ones. So that would be $500,000. Typically, income replacement is a range of 5 to 10 years. And let's say this person had a mortgage of $250,000 that still needed to be paid off if they passed away. And then let's say they had 3 kids and they wanted to leave $25,000 of education fund for each of them. That's $75,000. You add that all up, this person should have about $875,000 worth of life insurance. So that's what the DIME methodology does. And it helps you calculate the amount of life insurance that you probably should have. And the great thing about life insurance is that it pays out tax-free. So the death benefit is not taxed at all. So what type of life insurance is best for you? Well, it really depends on your goals, your health, the affordability of it. But basically, there are 2 types of life insurance. One is term life, which is up here at the top. It has a specific time period, either 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30 years. It's typically cheaper than the other kind of life insurance, which is permanent life insurance. Now, permanent life insurance is different because it's for your entire lifetime. It doesn't have a specific time period after which it lapses. It's good until you kick the bucket. It is more expensive, but it has a cash value that grows over time. So it has additional benefits above and beyond what term life insurance will cover for you. So take a look at how well your family is protected. And if you find you're lacking in coverage, contact a financial professional to help you close that gap. The second foundational building block for a strong financial house is knowing your habits and living by a budget. Information is king these days, and it's no difference in personal finances. If you know where your money is going, you have a much higher likelihood of being money smart and achieving your financial goals. Stories of my own clients come to mind that, clients that didn't know they were spending $200, $250 a month on coffee, or $150 a month on various fitness memberships that went unused, or recently $200 a month from paycheck deductions for things that they were already paying for from their checking account. Basically, double coverage for things like disability and life insurance, etc. Do yourself a favor and download an expense app, a tracking app on your phone or tablet or PC, or go through your bank statement line item by line item and become intimately familiar with how you spend money. Create a monthly budget that you will adhere to. Again, this can be done with a free cell phone app, or you can download a budgeting worksheet from Google or wherever, and do this on a hard copy piece of paper. I think you'll be surprised by what you find and how much money could be going towards other more productive pieces of your financial house. Just consider this. If you were to save $300 a month from your current spending habits, if you found $300 a month of wasted money, and you did that over 30 years at an 8% return, by the time you retire, you would have $450,000 on top of whatever you're putting into your retirement plan. Now that is smart money management, and that's a big deal, right? Almost $500,000 for just being a little bit more responsible in budgeting. Small changes mean a lot over time with interest. Think of the following items, and if you spend money on them, soda, cigarettes, coffee, expensive cable TV packages, gaming, sweets. I have a sweet tooth. That's probably one of mine. Always wanting the new tech gadget, shopping just for the sake of shopping, always needing the latest car, frequently eating out. You know, how much money do you spend eating out instead of maybe cooking at home more frequently? So look at your habits and ask yourself, can you make changes to your spending habits in order to secure a brighter future? To answer that, you need to understand how you spend money. And you have to have the courage to make changes where needed. The third building block is debt management. Nowadays, a lot of people find that they're swimming in all different kinds of consumer credit and consumer debt that they have to manage. This comes in the form of credit cards, car loans, department store cards, student loans, personal loans, and others. Managing and eliminating these debts is essential for financial freedom. Unfortunately, many people are swimming in so many different kinds of debt that they don't know how to attack it strategically. There are a couple different strategies to pay off your debt much faster than people would normally do in a haphazard fashion. One method is called debt snowball, and the other one is called debt avalanche. You can find calculators online to understand how to structure these strategies. Essentially, both of these methods takes a total available amount from your budget that's available to service debt and applies as much as possible to one debt until it's paid off. Then the payment amount that is freed up once that debt is paid off is applied to the next debt and the next debt and the next debt, like a snowball rolling down a mountain or an avalanche of debt elimination. These methods require persistence and commitment, but result in a debt-free life much sooner and much cheaper to you through savings of interest. Once your debt is under control, decide to live a debt-free life. Keep credit cards open because they help your credit score, but determine not to let balances roll from month to month, or only use them for specific purposes to maintain good credit. Not only does it feel good to not owe anyone anything, but you'll see that you're financially free to opportunistically invest because you have cash to do so. Or you can be generous in helping others because you're not tied down by debt obligations. The fourth building block is to have an emergency fund. This many times is addressed at the same time as debt management, but it doesn't have to be. Let's face it, emergencies happen in life, and there's little that we can do to stop them. But we do know that they happen, so it would be foolish not to have some type of financial fund to help take care of them when they do arise. A staggering statistic from just last year, 40% of Americans cannot handle a $400 emergency without putting it on a credit card or asking for financial assistance. 60% cannot handle a $1,000 emergency. That's scary, right? That's scary. If you don't have an emergency fund, start one today. Your goal should be 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, right? For a typical family of 5, that ends up being somewhere around, $15,000 for 3 months. It's challenging to get to that level if you're not used to having an emergency fund, but you can do it over time. Start saving $50, $100 a month, $150 a month. whatever you can, but you do need an emergency fund. Have it in a different account that may be more difficult to access so that you don't spend it unless it's an emergency. Don't have your emergency fund in the same checking account that you do your monthly expenses, because typical Americans, they spend their checking account down to near zero, and then they get paid, and then they spend it, and then they get paid. You need your emergency fund in somewhere else, some other bank account, preferably a different institution so that it's harder to get to. If you expect a tax return in the upcoming tax season, use that to jumpstart your emergency fund or to bolster it. Having that fund will give you peace of mind and take stress out of life's inevitable emergencies. When you dip into your emergency fund, make sure to replace it in months after that emergency. Very important step, and it gives me peace of mind to have that in an account. Once you have these basic building blocks in place, let me go back to the original one. Protection for your family, knowing your habits and budgeting, a strategy for debt management, and an emergency fund. Then we get to the fun part of your financial plan, which is investing and having a retirement plan. Building your nest egg, basically. There are too many financial solutions to describe in this short video the options that are available to someone for investing and creating a retirement plan. Some basic principles, however, coupled with understanding yourself, will help guide you in choosing what's right for you. Please do your research or consult a financial professional in understanding the options available to you in the financial solutions marketplace for investing and retirement planning. So how much should you save, though, on a regular basis? Many financial professionals suggest 10% of your monthly income go towards retirement, or more if you can. I think that's a good rule of thumb, but if you can do more than that, why not? It means you can achieve your financial freedom much earlier. You could fire your boss and stop working and do what you really want for the rest of your life, if you're a little bit more aggressive in saving earlier on in life. Where should you put your retirement savings? That's a very difficult question to answer to a broad audience, because everyone has different preferences on three of the important aspects of investing: risk, rate of return, and liquidity. Risk means how much of your investment, what percentage of your investment are you willing to lose if things go bad? Rate of return is what type of return on your investment are you seeking? And liquidity means how much access do you need to the investment funds? Do you need access right away if something were to happen, or are you okay putting that money away for a number of years? If you're okay with putting it away for a number of years, you possibly could get a higher rate of return with some safety as well. So where to put this money depends on your personal feelings on risk, rate of return, and liquidity. You can't have all three. Usually when you pick a financial solution for investing, you can typically get 2 out of 3 in one financial solution. So for example, if you want, for example, you can find a safe investment that gives you a guaranteed return, but it won't give you a high return, right? Because in order to guarantee that return, you have to leave your money in a certain place for an extended period of time. So I kind of look at it as a spectrum of investment. So you have on this side, lower risk, lower return, lower liquidity, which means your money may have to stay somewhere for an extended period of time. On this end of the spectrum for investing, you find things like bonds, right? Bonds that you can get, like muni bonds, municipal bonds, government bonds, etc., corporate bonds. On the other side of the spectrum, you have higher risk, higher potential return, not guaranteed returns, and more liquidity. You have more access to your funds. And on this side, you find things like stocks and mutual funds. In between these two extremes, you find things like annuities, fixed and indexed annuities, and permanent life insurance with cash value. So it really depends on the level of risk, what type of return you want, and how much liquidity you want. And there's just not enough time in this video to go over all of the options. So again, I recommend that you talk to a financial professional. You understand for yourself what type of risk, what type of return, and what type of liquidity you're looking for in a financial investment for retirement. And then based off of that, go look for some products that satisfy that need. Again, with a financial professional if you'd like to, but if you're the kind that likes to research and figure things out on your own, you can do that as well. Some products come with fees, and other products come with surrender penalties if you decide to switch from one product to another before some type of determined time period. You may have to pay a penalty. So make sure you understand all those details before you put your money somewhere. Finally, this last building block is really, to me, the most exciting as a business owner. And I assume that almost everyone that's listening to this video is a business owner. So being a business owner allows you a great benefit of employing tax strategy, which is basically because you're a business owner, you can turn some of your everyday personal expenses that every American has, you can turn some of those everyday personal expenses into a tax benefit for yourself. And if you're a little bit more creative and you have some professional help with you, you can go above and beyond that, and you can employ certain legal structures and financial instruments or financial strategy that will allow you to reduce your taxable income significantly. As a business owner, here's a short list of things that you can now call business expenses that used to be personal expenses that you could not deduct from your taxes. A portion of your mortgage and rent, your cell phone bill, your internet bill, a portion of other utilities. You could purchase a full-size truck or SUV and deduct the entire purchase amount in the year that you purchased it from your taxes, assuming that the vehicle is used for business reasons. You can deduct the mileage driven for work. You can deduct when you eat out with clients and business partners. And in a home-based business like Plexus, your business partner is typically someone in your family. So when you go out to eat with your family, make sure you talk about business, and that becomes a business meal. Business trips, right? Again, assuming that someone in your family also participates in Plexus with you, you could go on a corporate business trip with your family once a year, and because they're part of the business, that business trip is now a business expense. Furniture and technology for your home office. Do you need a new laptop? Do you need a projector? Do you need any type of furniture or technology for your home office? Well, that's now a business expense. And there's many, 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 many more line items. Just the tax benefits of alone of deducting that from your taxes makes it worthwhile to have a home-based business. So please, please, please don't brush aside this benefit of being a Plexus ambassador or having some other type of home-based business. Now, if you want to take it to the next level and get some legal structures in place in order to reduce your taxes even more, then what we're talking about is getting an LLC structured, or an S Corp, or a C Corp, or a combination of three of them. And when you do that, what you can do is you can start a 401k program, a 401k plan for yourself through your own business. And you can max out the contribution, and that's all that reduces your taxable income. You can start an HSA, a health savings account for yourself and your family. You can pay yourself and others a salary. You can pay your kids a salary. Can your kids help clean your home office? Can your kids clean the vehicle you use for business? Can your kids be used as models in photos that you use for marketing material, right? Why not pay you and your family members and keep more of your own money than give the government more taxes than they need, right? So you can pay yourself and others a salary that help you in your business. You can have a profit sharing program through your legal entities, right? This is a huge, huge, huge benefit. I can't tell you how much tax savings I've seen in my lifetime from employing these types of strategies. But you do need, uh, typically you need a tax professional to help you structure. You need an attorney and a tax professional to help you structure these things. But typically the savings that you experience in the first year alone will pay for the cost of a good tax guy and a good attorney for setting up business legal entities. So I hope you've enjoyed today's overview. Once again, um, here are the 6 things that we talked about: protecting your family, understanding your habits and budgeting, uh, sound debt management, having an emergency fund, investing and a retirement plan. And the bonus level that most of you on this listening to this will have access to is being a business owner and being able to employ tax strategy. And I hope that from listening to this, you're able to get your financial house in order in 2019, a little better than perhaps prior years. And I encourage you to take what resonates with you and put it in place. If you have any follow-up questions, you can reach out to me via email, jbenson2831@gmail.com. And you can even give me a ring if you'd like to, 971-295-8950. Best of luck to you in business and in your journey to financial independence. Thank you very much and have a great day.